You know, when you think of SpongeBob SquarePants, you probably think of a bright, cheerful, kind of goofy cartoon. But underneath the surface of Bikini Bottom, there's this deep, unsettling world of lost episodes, strange internet myths, and a mystery that has kept online detectives completely captivated for years. And that feeling right there, that memory of something that might not even be real, that's exactly where our story begins. Okay, let's dive into this. So we're going to start with something that was verifiably, tangibly real, but for years it was just gone. It's the perfect introduction to this whole concept of lost media. And the first major piece of SpongeBob lost media that really got people hunting was a series of shorts called Astrology with Squidward, which originally aired on Nickelodeon way back around 2000 and 2001. Now what's so wild is that this timeline shows a decade-long hunt by the entire community, finding these clips piece by tiny piece. For years, all fans had to go on were their own fuzzy memories and these weird foreign language clips. Eventually, thanks to the combined efforts of YouTubers, Redditors, and the archivists over at the Lost Media Wiki, they managed to bring most of these shorts back from the dead. But here's the twist, not all the rumors turned out to be true.
Yeah, the official showrunner actually had to step in and confirm that some of the shorts people swore they remembered were never even made. And this is where it gets fascinating, because this perfectly illustrates that blurry line between real lost media and the power of our own false memories.
So let's keep going because you can see how this builds. We go from finding what was real to suddenly confronting what absolutely was not. And that leads us to probably the most infamous SpongeBob legend of all time.
Back in 2010, this story just appears on the internet. It was written like a first-hand account, a confession almost, from someone who claimed they were a Nickelodeon intern who saw a horrific, unaired episode.
This story is a classic example of a creepypasta. You know, the term basically just comes from copy and paste because that's how these scary stories would just get spread around internet forums. And this one, titled Squidward's Suicide, described an episode so disturbing it supposedly horrified the entire studio staff. The story spread like wildfire, and it came with this absolutely terrifying edited image of Squidward that became known as red mist. For years, people actually debated whether or not it was real. But despite how vivid and convincing the story was, when you look at the official record, there is absolutely zero proof that this was ever a real Nickelodeon production. It was pure, unfiltered internet folklore. But Red Mist was really just the beginning. Once you get past that, you find this entire iceberg of other strange and unconfirmed SpongeBob media. So this iceberg is this weird mix, right? You have some verifiably lost content, some totally debunked hoaxes, and then all this stuff in the middle that we just can't be sure about. It totally blurs the line between real history and internet myth.
So the story of Squidward's suicide really should have ended there, you know? Just a popular but totally fake internet scary story. But then, something really strange happened. Nickelodeon acknowledged it. In a 2019 episode, the show's artist put a direct visual reference to that creepypasta image right into the actual show. Now, this is way more than just an inside joke. It's this fascinating moment where the fake story, born from the darkest corners of the internet, had, in a way, become real.
And it wasn't an accident. One of the show's artists, Adam Palaioan, even explained on Twitter that it was meant as a joke, to make fun of try-hard, edgy fan fiction. What's even crazier is that the scene was later censored in the US, but still aired in other countries, which just solidified its legendary status. This table really breaks it all down for us. You can see how some mysteries are solved, some are completely debunked, and others just remain tantalizingly unconfirmed, which is what fuels the whole search. So why does any of this matter? Why are people so obsessed with finding lost pieces of a kid's cartoon? Well, it taps into something much deeper, about memory and nostalgia.
You know, the search for lost media is really a search for a more complete, more certain version of the past. But sometimes the search just leads to more questions. It feels like the iceberg has a bottom, but we might never actually reach it.
I mean, some pieces, like the original sound for this animated short, they're just gone. Still completely missing. Others, like those TV-exclusive scenes with Patchy the Pirate, have only been recovered in fragments, pieced together from broadcasts all over the world. And then you have some things like the alternate foghorn logo that exist only as a ghost in our collective memory. So many people swear they remember it, but there's just no solid proof it was ever real.
And that's really the question at the heart of this entire mystery. It makes you wonder what other forgotten moments from our favorite shows are out there, waiting in a dusty archive or just on an archived webpage, ready to be rediscovered. For a lot of people, the search never ends.